It's over. It's come and gone. 6 hours. Got six. I had a feeling if I wanted to do Worlds Collide, I would not do All Out because I did not believe that Worlds Collide, NXT Worlds Collide, was going to be under 3 hours. Because of what happened in Clash of the Castle, I did not believe it, and I was right. By the time I was going to start watching the pre-show for All Out, they were still going. I didn't look at any of the matches. I know it was Braun Breaker versus Tyler Bates, and I didn't see who won. I just checked to see if it was still going on, and it was. Damn. If I was crazy enough to watch that, have all the notes, and then watch this, how many hours you think I would have been watching? Want to take a guess? 12. If I was going to watch Worlds Collide and All Out, I would have been watching wrestling for 12 straight ass hours. Hell no. I was not going to do it. That's the reason why I had to do this one. But I will say this, I might do a Worlds Collide maybe tomorrow. If you guys ask me, leave comments below. I want to say this now before I get to this because there's a lot to talk about. If you want me to review Worlds Collide after the show is over, tell me in the comments below. I'll see if I can watch it before Raw. Because I am probably going to do a review of Raw. So I'll probably see Worlds Collide, but I will not watch the Kickoff show. I'll just watch the main card and give my thoughts on it. I may not do a full review of it, but I'll give my thoughts if it was a good show or not. Now, what did we get in All Out? I'm going to be honest here. Was it better in Clash of the Castle? In many ways, yes. But I'm going to tell you the truth. This show pissed me off because they had opportunities to set people up and make them made, and they chose not to. Let's get to the Kickoff show. We got, and this is where it gets interesting, before the match for the mixed AAA tag titles, we had a little skirmish in the back. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put images in this video. I think I might not, unless it's an important video. Important image, same video. You see, I'm tired. If it's an important image, I'll put it in, but generally I'm not putting in images. But the opening was not a match for the mixed tag titles for AAA. It was showing Sammy Guevara and Ty being hunted down by Ruby and Ortiz in a golf cart. And basically, you see, I believe I might throw this picture. I got to throw this one up. Sammy shoves Ty out of the way, and he takes the full brunt of getting hit by that golf cart like he did a couple of years back. Guys, it's cool to see that kind of spot, but I am not happy seeing it done the way it's done. They've done it every year. It is dangerous. Even if it's not going at max speed, like 20 or 30, 40 miles an hour, 10 to 15 miles an hour is still dangerous. And I'm hoping he is alright. I think he's fine because he was able to wrestle afterward. So when the next tag happened, was it good? Honestly, it still had that strange feeling like, guys, Ortiz doesn't like Sammy Guevara. And that's the type of feeling I got, which is a good thing. But as we learned throughout the years in pro wrestling, actual animosity can make a match look good, but it's actually obvious that sometimes when the animosity is there, could be a little dangerous because sometimes they go a little too far with it. So it looked a little more real than it should be. Then you got Ty versus Ruby Soho, where you could see that Ruby had to hold back a little bit because Ty was a little sloppy. The match wasn't bad, at least until the ending when Ty looked like she legitimately nailed Ruby in the face with her high knee. And when she pinned her, you can see Ruby holding her face like that. Now, I'm not saying she actually broke her nose. She might have. But I'm saying this, that when you look at this show, and this is going to be a constant in the show, they look like they were trying a lot harder than normal. I think that Tony went to everyone and said, look, we're under the gun when it comes to WWE with Triple H. I need you guys to be a little more rougher than you normally would. And you can feel it throughout this show. But also, you can feel that they're being a little too careless I'm not having a problem being really physical in wrestling, but carelessness is what I worry about. When you're trying to go over what you're expecting to make the fans happy, you can have the tendency to be sloppy. The minute you're sloppy, someone could get hurt. Now, I'm not saying Ruby's hurt, but you get my point. Second match, the All Atlantic title match of Sabian versus Pac. Why was this not on the main card? Guys, this All Atlantic title pisses me off for one reason only. Why is Europeans only going after this? Why? When is an American going to go after this? It's got to be. You need an American there. You can't just have a Canadian or anyone from Australia or Britain. Why not have an American as well? To make it feel like it also could be for us as well. I'm not feeling it. And worse yet, this match should have been on the main card. It's not the point if it was bad. It's not the point if it was good. And basically, it was an okay match. Standard, all right. And Pac won. I'm not surprised. Pac is my man. I love me my Pac. I gotta say this, I have not, as you can see, this is still bare. Due to the fact that all this been going on with me, been having a lot of issues behind the scenes that's been messing with my depression, anxiety. I had not printed up my posters. Unfortunately, I have 3 of them done. Well, is it 2? Is it 3? I think 2. My mistake. It's been so long I haven't seen them. I haven't had a chance to print them up. When I get a chance, I'll print them. I'm just not going to lie to you. It's just so much been going on. But Pac is on the cover of one of the posters I made. He's the main target there. And he's still the guy I like. But here, being on the Kickoff, if you remember correctly, didn't Pac used to open with the Cruiserweight title at one point? I think he had it in WWE. Or if he didn't open with the Cruiserweight title or Cruiserweight, he was on the Kickoff. Barely on the main show. And what is he doing? He's the current All Atlantic champion and he's on the Kickoff. Why? I'm just saying. Now, the match that should have also been on the main card, that was way better than anyone expected. But guess what? There's a reason why it's so good. It's because Eddie Kingston's in it, who is a staple of AEW, that people love him. Another freaking missed opportunity. A not balded Eddie Kingston. He got some hair grown in and a bigger bushy beard. And this is also him no longer being suspended. He went up against Ima Ishii. That match was damn good. That was one of my favorites. I'm saying it. Yeah, I love Pac. But his match was okay. This is one of my favorites. I like seeing Ishii and I like seeing Eddie. They put it all out there. They were not playing around with their chops. They did a chop fest. It was so heavy. They did not stop most of the time until they were going, they were out of breath because they hit each other so damn much. They were not playing. By the end of it, Eddie did win. He did win. And Ishii was, how can I say this? In Japanese wrestling, if someone makes a promise and they fail, they don't take it well. And Eddie Kingston wanted to give respect to Ishii. He was wanting to do it. My guess is Ishii might have not been too happy having a match with Eddie because he got suspended. I'm not saying that's true. This is just what my thoughts were. Maybe, and this is just me, due to the fact of what happened with Eddie, and he did apologize and said, I made a mistake, this is on me. Ishii might have not been 100% happy being on the Kickoff show and maybe working with Eddie. Doesn't mean he hate him, but maybe due to the fact he was suspended, it might have been a step down for him. Because when it was all over, unless this is a storyline, he didn't look happy afterward. And Eddie wanted to show him respect. He wanted people to cheer him. He wanted his music stopped. He wanted to cheer him because he was willing to work with him. And Ishii wasn't taking it too well. Now, I'm not saying that Ishii isn't a prideful man. He is. And not saying that, like I said, maybe due to the fact that he was on the Kickoff show and he didn't want to be there. And then due to the fact he's working with a guy who just came off the suspension. And not saying that he hated Eddie, but it might have not been a respectful thing for him. That might have been what we got. It's just me. I don't know. But you guys can tell me below what you think. And please, leave comments below, particularly if you do want me to do Worlds Collide. I'm not kidding. I don't know if I'm not doing the kickoff. But I am going to watch it, and I might do a full review, or I'll just give my thoughts on it, because Raw will come out tomorrow, and I don't want to exhaust myself. Now, main card. The Casino Ladder Match, I believe that was what it's called. But it was a different type of ladder match. It was like a Battle Royal mixed with a ladder match. You got people coming out every minute or so, and then they could be able to go up the ladder. I believe the two who started was Wheeler Yuta and Ray Phoenix. They were the ones who started it. It was fine. I was alright with it. Then you got Rush. You also had Andrade El Ilios. You had a Dante Martin Penta, as well as a Claudio Castagnoli. Everything was going pretty well. I was alright with it. It was cool. A couple of spots, especially with Wheeler Yuta, when he got power bombed onto the ladder. I think this is another image I may put in. The way it looked like he had his head bounce off at least the top turnbuckle. No, sorry, not the top turnbuckle, the top turn rope. And the middle one, his head was just laying on the middle one, but he might have hit the top turn rope first before he finally laid onto the middle one, and his head was just hanging there. I got nervous. When you do power bombs very close to the ropes, remember those ropes are solid steel, high tensile steel cables. That thing could give you bad whiplash. If it doesn't damage your spinal cord, it is dangerous. It's good to see when they don't get too close to the ropes. In this case, Wheeler Yuta was pretty close. And Claudio ran, when he came in, he went to check him to see if he was all right. It was fine. Then we got the 6 men that came out. I think it was 5 to 6 men. And the first one there started attacking everybody. The second one, the third one, the fourth, and the fifth. And I think it might have been 6, but it's probably 5. They were all attacking everybody. And then one climbed the rope to get to the chip, took it, and he's in my face. I believe I got a shot. If I don't, I'm sorry. It is half away. Takes the mask off. Half away. Half away went and got the damn chip. But he can't cash it in. He can't do anything with it. At least until the Joker came out. Wearing a mask, and I believe I got that in my face. He comes out, the Joker. Walks to the ring. Half away, hands him the chip, and it's over. Everyone is angry. Good. You wouldn't expect it. Everyone is expecting to show his face. He's going like, walks to the back. Now, I will give you my thoughts about it at the end of the review, if I don't forget. Because there's so much here, I might forget. I'm telling you now, I may not be scatterbrained, but there's so much content here. I'm missing something. So, if I miss something, leave a comment and I'll try to remember what it is and I'll say something like I normally do. Because you know me. I forget stuff. There's so much to remember. I tend to forget because if there's a lot going on in the show, I forget. Anyway, let's move on. We got the trios title match. The Bucks and the Kenny versus the Dark Order with Hangman Page. This is where it gets interesting. Match was good. It was actually very good. The person that shined the greatest there was John Silver. That's Johnny Hungy. Johnny Hungy shined the best. Reynolds was okay. The Bucks were fine. Kenny was fine. And Page, of course. But when it came to John Silver, he shined the best. This is what I'm sure they noticed when they wanted to stick him with Brody Lee. He is a damn good wrestler with a lot of personality. He may not be the biggest wrestler, but definitely he is a very loved wrestler. People loved his ass. He was the most highest shined there. But the question was, what was Hangman Page doing? Because Matt, I believe it was Matt, who has tape on his back, you see Reynolds and Silver attacking him once they got him down on the mat. Now before that, they shook hands. They didn't have a problem. He's still their friends. He cares about them. But then he's now worrying about Matt because his back is messed up. And he's telling Silver and Reynolds, don't do that. Wrestle them. You don't have to mess them up. And they're saying, we're in a match. We're going for titles. What are you doing? This is what they're telling a Hangman Page. And as time went on, especially when he faced Kenny, and they did the same thing to Kenny, he is telling them, don't do that. He's just come back from injury. Come on, wrestle them. And then they whooped his ass most of the match. They whooped Hangman Page's ass most of that match, saying, you shouldn't be doing that. Smack, whooping his ass more than a few times. Now, this is where it gets interesting. By the time it was near the end, you could see John Silver really showing how good he is. How much people really liked him and how well he was going in the ring and how well his personality was getting over. But Hangman Page decided to do a buckshot lariat on Kenny, and Kenny ducks down and misses and hits Silver, and they take Silver to the house, and basically they pin Silver, they win. And pretty much the Dark Order gets nothing. And basically, Hangman Page clearly just screwed over Dark Order. Not on purpose, but still they get screwed. The question is going to be now, is this over with Dark Order and Hangman Page? Because as it stands now, they've really done nothing really with Dark Order and Hangman Page. Look, they need to separate them. It's time. I wish they would just disband the Dark Order altogether. But this is what you get. Do I believe it's going to work? I have no clue. Leave a comment below. Let's move on. Next, the match that I'm like, why? This is one of the first. This is one of the first matches where I do not agree with the outcome, because at this point, it's not necessary. That's the TBS title of Jade Cargill versus Athena, the Fallen Goddess. Now, Athena got new wings. I won't show it. They look alright. Athena wearing contacts. Look great. But then I got to show it. You know I'm going to show this. If you have not heard, Marvel and Disney have started a TV series called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Not watching it because I didn't grow up watching the female Hulk. I'm not saying I hated her. I didn't read the comics because I couldn't read very well. And then whenever they showed her on TV, because they did have cartoons with the She-Hulk in it, they never really depicted her very well. Except in recent memory when they had the Agents of Smash, that the female Hulk there wasn't badly done. You see Jade Cargill as a female Hulk. In fact, maybe they should have hired her as a female Hulk because she looks like a female Hulk. She's wearing, you see it in my face. She looked like a female Hulk. Yeah, with a little brown showing of her normal skin. She does look like a female Hulk. That's the person they should have hired to actually do the work. And that kind of would have helped when it came to AEW in here. Because as it stands, when you see this match, this was off. I'm sorry, guys. It was very botchy. I did not like it. Laura Gray got her ass handed to her by Athena, which was great. Then Kiera Hogan, terrified most of the time, didn't do much. The match itself looked off for me. It did not look good. It looked bad. And since Jade Cargill was still covered in green makeup, probably didn't make it easy for them to actually work together because it was rubbing off as she was wrestling. It was messy. But the way the match went, I felt Jade was off. There was something wrong. So I thought, she's not losing. She's not losing. And I was right. Jade Cargill retained and she's 37-0. Why at this point? At this point, and this is what many people don't understand. When you give someone a title, it's either going to be one of two things. Either that person's going to make the title or the title's going to make that person. That's what it comes down to. One or the other. Since it was a brand new title, that means Jade had to make that title mean something. And the problem with Jade was that she was still very green in the business. As impressive as she is, and she is impressive, she is not 100% big compared to someone like a Ruby Soho or a Athena or a Sonita Deeps, who should have got the title first. Not a Hiro Kushida, a Sonita Deeps, since they don't book the women that the the Joshis very well. I believe that's the name of the promotion that most Japanese wrestlers that are female come from. And I will get to that match, the intro match. There was no point in her keeping that title. I truly believe she's gone as far as she can with it. Because she's supposed to make the title when the title should make her if she's too new. But she had to make the title. And as beautiful as she is, as strong as she is, as charismatic as she is, and yeah, she got a cute little daughter, and you could see her, and I'm not putting it in my face. It was not necessary for her to keep it at this point. She should have dropped it. I'm just saying. Moving on. Next, Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal versus Wardlow and FTR. Look, many people will believe that I care more about Impact Wrestling than AEW because the majority of my videos here is from Impact Wrestling, WWE, and majority of really a lot is Impact Wrestling. I've always told you, I give it to you straight. I am not like other reviewers. I don't do favoritism. Yeah, I may say who are my favorites, but if they fuck up, I let you know it. When you look at this match, honestly look at this match, when it came to Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal versus FTR and Wardlow, tell me, what did you actually see? Did you actually see a great match? Or did you actually see a match that's supposed to put over Wardlow and FTR? Because when you see the match, and I'm not saying the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal did not wrestle well. They did. But I have seen them multiple times, whether they're heels or faces, work better than that. It was like simply they were holding back. And I'm not saying this because I think Impact is better than AEW. Look, the rosters of both are interchangeable if the wrestlers are good. We know FTR is just as good as the Motor City Machine Guns. We know that the Motor City Machine Guns were junior heavyweights of the same promotion that currently FTR has the titles of. Where they're the heavyweights and these are junior heavyweights. There is no difference between them. They both are great sets of tag team wrestlers. You see Jay Lethal, damn good wrestler that went through Impact, that has gone through RH and has been the champion. He is charismatic, and he did do a damn good job trying to make a Ric Flair look good on his supposed last match. You look at this match, it felt like they were holding back. They were not, it didn't even need, to be honest, the Motor City Machine Guns did not need to be so heelish. And I think that's the problem. They were told, be as heel as you can. Make FTR and Wardlow look good. But by them going that far with their heel attitude, they cut their performance in the ring in half. And that just did not work for me. Not because I wanted them to win. I didn't expect them to win. There was no way Motor City Machine Guns and Lethal were going to win. When they're heels, I know that. But when you look at the match itself, you guys tell me, not until near the end did you really begin to see how good Lethal and the Guns are. Because everything before the very end of the match just felt mediocre to good. And they should have been great. There should have been more to it. I know other people are going to say, well, that was okay. It was a good match from the Guns. No. It felt like they were trying to be more heelish than they normally are. And I know the Guns can be heels. They have been heels. And wherever they go, they've gone from face to heel. But they felt like they were trying too hard to be heels. Trying too hard to make the fans hate them. Which really messed up the performance in the ring. In the end, you know who won. But still, that's just me. You guys tell me below. I just feel like that was not a fair full match. Of course, like I said, it was going to be FTR and Wardlow winning. And we got, 4 power bombs on Lethal. Fine. But I felt there could have been more in the very beginning and the middle. I'm just saying. Now, a match that probably could have been on Dynamite. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks. Because here. Let me give it to you like this. I wanted to see this match. I wanted to see how far we're going to go with this match. I wanted to see the emotion from Ricky. I wanted to see the attitude from Hobbs. I wanted to see a match where one guy really cared about another one and was screwed over. I didn't get that. You know what I got? an ordinary match. What the fuck was that? There was no emotion in it. It was just a standard match. You didn't see Ricky Starks show anger, rage, grabbing at Powerhouse Hobbs, or when he got knocked down. He didn't even show emotion when he was angry at Hobbs. He didn't say, I'm going to get you for what you did. He didn't say a word to him. They just had a standard match. I would have liked at least, since they kept them separate so much, and we got the factory doing the work of Powerhouse Hobbs dealing with Ricky Starks, I would at least like to see more on Dynamite, but there wasn't anything there. You just got Powerhouse Hobbs getting kind of like some help from the factory, which it should have been Hobbs nailing more of Ricky and saying, you're nothing but garbage, I always knew you were. And he would have said it better. It would have been better if he said it right in front of them. And in front of us. But we didn't get that. We got Ricky cutting a very good promo a couple of weeks ago. Then we don't get nothing from Hobbs. Then we get the factory saying, we're going to do you a solid and mess over Ricky Starks. And from what I understand, because I didn't see Rampage, on Rampage, Ricky took care of them. So I didn't see that. But even if I didn't see it, you would think that Ricky would show emotion and Hobbs would be, he did show a lot of attitude, which I was fine with, but Ricky did not. And it wasn't because he can't do it. I've seen him do it in NWA, and I've seen him do it here. So what happened? Something's missing in the equation. Where is the emotion of an added anger where he would show it in the ring? You guys tell me below, and maybe I missed it. Okay. The title match for the AEW tag titles. Strickland and Lee versus the Acclaimed. Another, like Athena, who should have claimed the title and could help Jade Cargill have to try and pursue it now because she's gone as far as she can with that damn title. She's supposed to make the title, but the title, if you're inexperienced, could make you, but it didn't do either one very well. Where she should have just dropped it, given it to someone who has great credibility, and then move on. We now have the Acclaimed, who has been there from day freaking one, 3 straight years, and they built themselves up to the point now that they are not just loved, they are very loved. And you got Strickland and Lee, who, yeah, everyone likes Lee and Strickland, Swerve and Glory, no problem. Yes, and I gotta say this. I've always been critical of Swerve Strickland, that he didn't sell very well, either because he couldn't or he didn't want to. I will say in this match, he did sell pretty well. It wasn't perfect, like no one does it perfect, but he did sell very well compared to what I've ever seen of him. So they tried to make this important, and he did sell. And he made Caster and Bowman look good. He did. He didn't do it perfect, but he did sell. But here's the thing. Next to Bowman having a mate, see him getting frustrated. He's trying to sell the knee injury. Trying to sell that it's not perfect. And Strickland was doing everything he can to make him look like $1 million next to trying to destroy his knee, but also selling for him. So I give it to him. Then you got Keith Lee selling for Caster and letting him lift him up and then doing a slam with him, which was very good. Why didn't they win? At this point, that they've now moved away from the Guns dealing with them because Hathaway now has them, because we know Hathaway showed them in the early of the Casino ladder match. Why did they not win when they should have? This was a huge missed opportunity where they were so hot right now and they did not win. This was the best time to let them have the titles. The best time to let the Acclaim be on the top of the food chain, and they refused to do it. They didn't pull the damn trigger. Why? Why? Made no sense. So when it was all over, they were willing to scissor a little bit of the Billy Gunn, but they didn't want to do anything with Bowman and Caster. Why? They were the clear faces in this match, And Keith Lee and Strickland were the heels. Strickland was as heel as he could be to make Bowman look great, hammering like crazy, and even ripped off his knee pad on his knee to try and make him look like $1 million, and they didn't pull the damn trigger. I'm just saying, this is stupid. Stupid booking. Now, next, the Fatal 4-Way. Hiro Kushida versus Jamie Hayter versus Brit Baker versus Toni Storm. Look, I can tell you this. This is what I can tell you. Actually, I'm going to tell you two things. The one thing I thought before the match started, there was only one person, one who could win it. There was only one. Because if it was anyone else, we would have Charlotte Flair talk. I'm telling you the truth. There's no way the IW and YWC is not going to say if Britt Baker had won, or if Shida or Hayter had won, this would always rotate right back to Britt Baker, and they would say that she is the new Charlotte Flair. There is no way they wouldn't. The only person that was viable to win it was Toni Storm. But here's where it gets interesting, that I didn't anticipate who would be the fan favorite. I thought it would be Toni Storm. That's what I thought. It was Jamie Hayter. Miss Jamie Hayter, who has one of my most favorite songs in AEW. Her song is one of the few I love. I don't know why I love it. It's something I like about it and love about it. Maybe also because she's damn cute. But clearly, she was the fan favorite. Flat out. It was not Britt. It was not Hideko, and it was more than Toni Storm. It was Jamie. They wanted her to win. You know why? She's been there for nearly 2 to 2.5 years. She's been there for at least 2.5 years. Yeah, she was gone from Britain. Well, she went back home around the time of the pandemic and then finally came back. But she had been known for 2.5 years. Say roughly 2 to 2.5 years. She's been around for a long time. They had her do the majority of the work in the damn ring when it was just her, Britt, Penelope Forbes, as well as Bunny and, Anna Jade and Ty Conchi, when she was still using the name Conchi before she got a divorce. She was one of them. So it's like, what the hell? And also, almost forgot. Tell me what's going on with Rebel. Because she was supposed to come out with Britt and did not at first. What's going on with her? And then she jumps into the ring to try and distract, I believe, Storm and Hideko, and basically got a kick in the face for her trouble. Look, if Rebel would want me, I would be her man forever. She is a gorgeous woman. She is like, you know how old she is? She's about 43 to 44 years old. And she has no kiss as far as I can tell. And she's like, damn it, that's gorgeous. But it's Storm who wins like I thought she was going to win. I didn't expect Jamie to win. Because if she did, it would lead right back to Britt. So there you go. This is kind of a lost opportunity, but it was expected because of how the landscape is and how things are being seen outside of pro wrestling with the IWYWC. We see Britt Baker in every single segment whenever she's around, and they only show very few women, where they got plenty on Dark and Elevation. They're not showing new people. What happened to Layla Hirsch? What about, all right, here, Layla Hirsch, Laura Gray. When it comes to Kiera Hogan, you got Sky Blue. Where are all these other women that they should be building up to finally start showing on from Elevation and Dark to Rampage and Dynamite? You're supposed to bring in new women to complement the next one. You're not doing it. I'm just saying. Next, a match that I wrote in my notes before the match started when it was doing the vid pack. Question, Luchasaurus. This is where it was going to make and break this feud. Because we all knew Luchasaurus turning heel was a great idea. and then they just seemed to backpedal on it. And we knew there was one of two outcomes. Either they were going to do absolutely nothing with Luchasaurus, or they were setting up something where Luchasaurus was going to do something to Jack Perry, because he didn't want to be known as Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He wanted to be known as Jack Perry. So, Christian versus Jack Perry, where Christian comes out, faces Jungle Boy's mother and sister, and gets smacked in the face by the mom. All right. Then Jungle Boy comes out, and he's looking back, and he's waiting for Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus does not come out of the good guy tunnel. He comes out of the bad guy tunnel, grabs him, and I believe I got a shot of it. It's in my face. He slams him on the metal grating that's at the ramp. After that, he grabs him, picks him up, carries him into the ring. Yeah, there was a little work that Christian had to do. But in the end, he did win the match. And you see, and I have another shot in my face, Christian holding the head of a Luchasaurus saying, "We got him." I believe that's what it is. Good. If Luchasaurus stayed the way it was, this would just show how dysfunctional AEW is. Guys, understand this. We've been hearing rumors about how messed up AEW is. That Tony doesn't have a full control of what's going on. And he might not. We don't know the full scope. I haven't been checking lately. But this situation with this storyline, if Luchasaurus had stayed face after switching back from a heel, this would just show you how bad it is for big men in AEW. That'll only be small men, and big guys are just set up to job for them because they look like shit. I'm just saying. Now, the match that I felt was the third best match of the night, that was Chris Jericho versus a Bryan Danielson. This is something we don't normally see. A Chris Jericho who does submission. Look, I've seen Chris over the years. And even though I had a 10-year gap from 91, 92 to 2002, I was working, I was going to school, I got married, I had a kid. And my wife at the time, didn't like wrestling. And I was so busy I couldn't see wrestling much. And then after my mother died, I went to school and met my wife, and then a madness happened. I could not watch it. I barely could see it at all. Maybe once every couple of weeks for about 10 minutes, if I was even lucky to get 10 minutes. Or just flip it past something that my wife was going to watch or my son was going to watch. I barely had time to watch. And I admit, I had no interest. I've seen Chris over the years. From the mid-2000s up until now, and Chris has always delivered. But in this match, if you think that Chris is finished, washed up, and can't go anymore, watch this match. Chris Jericho was damn good in this match. Yes, it was a slower, methodical match. Yes, it was. But when you look at this match for what it was, being heavily into chain wrestling and submission tries and failures and redirections into new submissions and more chain wrestling, this shows you that Chris can still go. Now, could he go well? Yes, for a while, until he tanks. Because near the end, he was totally tanked. Let's be honest. He totally tanked. At one point, he was so exhausted. But the match was damn good. In the end, what did he do to win? He had to nut shot a Bryan Danielson with his leg because he was losing. Then he gave the Judas effect, and he won. But that really pissed off Garcia. And now, supposedly, Garcia is going to... made it very clear. This Wednesday, he's got a match against Judah for the Pure Championship. And Chris said, none of us are going to be there. He said, I need my support team. He says, no. He says, I know you're going to win, but none of us are going to be there because of the way you felt about this match. Because you should have came out to me with the rest of the JS. Even if you didn't like it. I understand your feeling that I cheated a little bit, a little nut shot, but the majority of the match, he did not cheat. You're going to be on your own, but I know you'll win. So we're going to see what's going to happen if he wins the Pure title or not. 2 more matches left. This was a match that I'm like, what did I watch? It was good, but it was missing something. Miro and Sting with Allen versus the House of Black with Julia Hart. Now, Julia is doing a good job being the valet or the manager of them. She doesn't need to wrestle anymore. She doesn't. They just need her as a valet, at least for now. She looks good in the job she's doing. Then we have Miro coming out first. But here's the problem. Miro feels empty. You know why? CJ's not there. Where is Miro's wife? Where is she? Guys, I expected Miro's wife to come out with him. At this point, in one of the really important pay-per-views, she should be here. She's not. It feels like he's missing something. He's missing his partner, the one that's supposed to hype him up, the one that the Redeemer needs to know that is in his corner, the hot wife that would truly get him somewhere, and that is CJ. I don't know why she's not there. He needs her. He's missing something. He's done great by himself, but still. Was the match bad? No. It was fine. Seeing Sting do a decent job in the ring. At one point, he decides to put, it was Malachi Black in the Scorpion Deathlock. And he got cut above his eye when he was facing a Sting. I don't know when he got a hit and he busted open his eyebrow, I believe. Because it wasn't in his eye. You see Buddy Matthews as well as Brody King. I almost forgot Buddy Matthews' name. And they started kicking at Sting, and he wasn't willing to let go of the Deathlock. It's really good to see Sting be in that type of situation where he still looks almost invincible. Now, you don't need it all the time, but in this situation, it was done well. In the end, the faces won, but it still feels like CJ needs to be there. Why isn't his wife? Why isn't Lana there? Is she pregnant? Is it possible she can't get a contract with AEW? Is she going to Impact Wrestling or MLW? Has she been called back to WWE and NXT? Where is she? Is she injured? I don't know. You guys tell me below. As far as I know, she was fine. She did something on Instagram a couple of months ago, or a month or so ago. I think 2 months, a month ago, and she looked fine. She was basking in the sun. I'm just saying. Finally, our last match of the night. Moxley versus Punk. This is where you could say that this is the best match of the night. For me personally, this is the second best match. The best match would be Ishii and Eddie Kingston. I'm not against everybody else. But for me personally, it's Kingston and Ishii first. You got Bryan and Jericho second. This comes in third. For me personally. But if I'm going to be a fair reviewer, this is the best match of the night. Jericho is second, and my Ishii and Eddie Kingston match would be third. Now, here's the reason why it was that good. And why it was dumb at the same time. Was the match good? Yes. There was some blood loss, which has happened throughout the night. But here it made the most sense because they had to make CM Punk look like he's willing to do anything this time around, then lose. And that's where the problem comes in for me personally because of what happened Wednesday. He shouldn't have even had the damn match. They should have done a unification match here. I don't care what anybody says, like JD or Alex saying, well, they didn't want to have Punk actually have to unify the titles. He should already get the titles already unified. That's stupid. I'm sorry. We could have done something way different than this. You could have still had Punk get beaten down before this match, and unification match should have happened. It should have happened here. I'm sorry. If you're not comfortable about it, tough titty. It should have happened. The unification match should have been here, and he should have been crowned the unified champion, not the world champion. It should have happened. And then this Wednesday, he would be known as the world champion, and they can drop the unification name altogether. That's what should have happened. But it didn't. Now, was the match bad? No, it was done well enough that everyone liked it, and so did I. I liked the match. But what made this match the best match of the night was what happened in the casino ladder match. Unless it was Battle Royal ladder match. Lights go out. Can't see a damn thing. You hear Tony Khan talking to someone saying, look, the fans love you. We need you. I know we have our issues right now, but I need you to come back. I will give you a spot in the casino ladder match. I will give you I believe an extension on your, I think he said an extension, or I will either renegotiate or give you an extension. No. I'm trying to remember, because like I said, it's hard to remember this. I think he did talk about the extension. I tried to give you one. You didn't want it. Here, you come in. I will pay you bleep. Just come in and do what we need you to do. We need you. Lights come on, sort of, because we still see a camera. We see the person that comes out, the one that was covering his face. And you hear MJF's voice. He takes off the mask. You can see his hair. You see the scarf come on. And then he comes out. Doesn't say a word. He just goes like this. He points, and he's going like this to CM Punk. Now, many people did believe that this was going to happen. And I do believe it was meant to happen. CM Punk going up against MJF, where eventually MJF would go and try to get the title. I'm fine with this. I'm glad. I just didn't like what they did to the setup of this. They did not need to have that match where CM Punk lost the way he did. They didn't need it. So it tarnished most of this match. Not all of it, but most of it. They could have done the same thing, but just to set up to this, where he gets his ass beat up by Moxley before the match. His friend talks about it. He wonders if he can handle it. And they could have done the same thing as before. I just don't agree that this should have happened this Wednesday. But this match was well done. And MJF being the one there. And he's got the biggest pop next to Eddie. Eddie got a huge pop. He got the bigger pop than Eddie. And that was even bigger than CM Punk's pop. MJF is so freaking over. And he's going like this. Done well. This is what we got. Now, overall, was the show good? Yes. Matches shouldn't have happened. The Jade match with Athena should have won. The Hobbs and Starks match, I don't know what happened there. It felt like Starks didn't show any emotion. Now, normally he does. And if anybody says he doesn't, yes, he does. In his matches, he can show emotion. Here, it was just a straight match. This could have been on Dynamite. When it came to the Acclaim, they should have won. They shot themselves. They should have won. This was the hottest the Acclaim has ever been. And they should have let them win the damn titles. And they did not. That makes 2 matches. They made a big mistake for the title match. Fatal 4-Way, when it came to the women, there was no other person but Storm. But seeing Jamie Hayter over, that's something to think about. Hopefully they will take advantage of that coming this Wednesday and Friday. I don't know. Chris Jericho. That damn match with Bryan Danielson was damn good. Emi Ishii. That's my favorite. But the most important things. Luchasaurus being a heel was highly important. MJF reappearing, that was highly important. But when it came to the Motor City Machine Guns working with Jay Lethal, it felt like they were trying too hard to be heels and didn't work. This was a good show, but it had a lot of problems in it. Anybody else would say this is the greatest show ever been? I'm not everybody. If you don't like what I say, I can't tell you anything. I'm just being honest. Peace.